Today, out of the bag of recipes, we drew grits and cheese soufflé. This is a pretty good recipe that turned out very well. We have 6 scallions, or about a half a cup of thinly sliced onions, 2.5 cups of milk, a half a teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of black pepper, a third of a cup of white grits, 4 ounces of cheddar cheese, and 5 large eggs. To start, preheat your oven to 350 degrees and then butter or grease the dishes that you're going to cook these in. You can cook it in one gratin dish that serves about 6, but we cooked it in 3 different separate dishes with about 2 servings per person, which worked out well for us. In your saucepan, I want you to combine the scallions, milk, salt, and pepper, and then bring to a boil over medium-high heat. You're going to have to stir this every so often to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom, and try to gently boil this, and you don't want it to overboil or get too overly hot, like kind of what we did in the picture. On a fun note, you're supposed to use milk for this, but we accidentally bought buttermilk instead of regular milk because we usually buy almond milk. Well, once it boils, you can toss your third of a cup of grits in there and then go ahead and bring it back to a boil, and then try and get it to a nice gentle boil that's going to let it sit there for 12 to 15 minutes where you still stir it occasionally. To separate your 5 eggs, there's different tools that you can use in the kitchen for doing this. I like to just flop the egg back and forth, the yolk back and forth, to go ahead and separate the whites. After it has been boiling for 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes, go ahead and stir your cheese in there until it's mostly melted. And after that, you're going to remove it from the heat entirely while still being able to mix in the egg yolks that you separated earlier. Mix that in nice and well until the whole color of the grits change to a nice deep yellow. After this, you're going to want to make sure it's sitting to the side, and then you're going to go back to your egg whites with an electric beater, and you're going to beat those egg whites until they're nice and firm. It takes a minute or two to get it done. We're not adding any sugar, we're not adding any salt, we're just beating these egg whites as they come right out of the egg. Then once you have them nice and firm, use a spatula and fold them into your grits mixture. The pot that I was using for this, the saucepan, ended up being a little bit too small, so I transferred it to a bowl to make it easier to make sure that it was really mixed. Then I went ahead and spread it as evenly as I could into the 3 different cooking dishes that we had ready to go and greased. After they were basically evened out, we threw them in our preheated oven and cooked them for about 20 minutes. You can see once they come out of the oven how they're nice and poofy. In the meantime, I had cooked a piece of bacon for myself and cooked a piece of vegetarian bacon for Brie, as we used as garnish later. So like I said, we put it in there. You can do this with one dish or multiple ones, but for us we used the 3 and it worked out just fine. After 20 minutes, you're going to pull them out. There's no need to check it. Everything that's in there is going to be cooked. You're really cooking and making sure that the eggs are cooked all the way through. But there you can see the nice poof coming out of that one there on the left. Go ahead and pull them out. If you wanted to, you could use a little bit of extra shredded sharp cheese to put onto the top to have it melt as like a little bit of a garnish. You can see we used a little bit of scallions to decorate it as well. And then the final piece you have here, that's the vegetarian bacon. And then you can see them side by side where I had crumbles of the bacon that I had cooked. Overall, this recipe was fun to make, easy to make, and it tasted really, really good.